asasumba.
The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello, this is TV1 News. I'm Maricela Kelaton.
And I'm Jasmine Jack. Join me later in the bulletin for sports news.
In this edition, Tilesa's fight against leukemia, hunger worsens in Manam care centers, and whirlwind season for Jan Morea. The people of Kutubu local level government in the Nipa Kutubu district of Southern Highlands celebrated the independence with the presentation of Lucas Sawmills to the 4A and Fasto areas. Kutubu LLG President John Pipikila with Santos executive officers were at Pimaga station to do the presentation.
8 out of 18 Lucas sawmills have been distributed to the people of Foy and Faso in the Kutubu local level government area. President of Kutubu LLG, John Pipikila, when presenting the Lucas sawmills, urged the people to use the equipment to better their lives by building good houses.
Something come here, me talk finish, me got him head run. Sabe man Kutubu holin. And this man and make him longer and walk come up longer. And Mr. Alan Riggs, hard work man, Alan Irigusa, beginning Kutubu. I'm not beginning to not blab and beginning Kutubu. Hard work longer, Mim Blosani Pepper Nadin, but hard work and Shaq walking. You blond over cross Alan, you stop. This Masi no something stopping and come up here. Alan, you stop. 40 horsepower, you flam Kogamla Kudubu Yambaruna come up. Alenino stop. This la nubla car picture come up and Baruna come up. Hard work Alan Irugusha making. Me Blosan in paper that's all.
Mr. Killer also presented 3 Land Cruisers to leaders of Foy and Faso. He asked that they work with him to bring gradual change to the area. The LLG president also announced the establishment of the Killer Chamber, which will be built at Pimaga Station for the assembly meetings.
Good plan, Litana, you got hard blood, you plus one good plan when I come out in the look. Me, you got hard blood, you play a woman. You got Tintinia, me, Sabe, let's stop here. What else I mean, you, I'm giving you yet here. So thank you through. Me, I'm a master, you plan.
Santos country manager Leon Baskins reminded the people of the free independence we got from Australian administration. He said Santos is committed to working with local leaders to deliver services through partnership arrangements.
Santos now have close to 90% are Papua New Guineans. All mana marry Papua New Guinean. You look at like Kai, and we'll talk 48 years ago. Close to 90% na 2 plus na blo frontier all mana marry. Now more by come also na school tamili all beginning play me time you mean 100 years time or narpa 50 years time and all by thinking this la data there. One kind of some sample lame story 75 only thinking this la.
Redimo, TV1 News.
Baskin went on to urge the Kutubu people to be self-reliant and not waste time waiting on government handouts. He encouraged them to support the work of their local level government.
Integral human development as the bedrock and stone only to focus on social, economic and political development with principles of equality, passing no sharing, passing no yumi work one time, economic participation. You mean I can stop look tasol, you mean too much got on mark stop low work. na self-reliance. Also na yumi lukim. Emol self-reliance work start lawyer. But yumi yet Papa God give me sawe, give me an no work him work. You mean I can sit down to sol na narbla man kam give spoon lo yumi. True ah. No PNG waste play yumi. Now importantly, wise use of our natural resources and environment.
The PNG Tribal Foundation, through its partnership with UNFPA and USAID, successfully facilitated a GBV in Emergencies workshop for frontline responders who work in the GBV and SARV space in Wabeg in a province early this month. The conclusion resulted in 11 solutions for SARV that the group will continue to progress.
30 participants came from Enga's 5 districts: Kandep, Kompiam Ambum, Lagay Pogera, Wapenamanda, and Wabeg. They represented church and community leaders, village court magistrates and officers, police, women's association, welfare protection officer, and the provincial director from Department of Community Development, Youth and Religion. Day 1 focused on the current tribal conflict that has escalated to alarming high tensions, and this full-day session allowed a vital exchange of information. Situational understanding is critical for these men and women whose jobs overlap in their respective fields in combating all forms of violence in their communities. While tribal conflict takes dominance in national attention, underlying violence such as GBV, specifically sorcery accusation-related violence, has silently worsened. On day 2, the frontliners share their experiences from their respective districts on cases they handled, problems encountered, and successful initiatives they fight to combat SARV in Enga. The conclusion resulted in 11 solutions for SARV that the group will continue to progress. Susan Oreape, TVWAN News.
3-year-old Tilesa is currently fighting leukemia at the Port Moresby General Hospital. Since her parents found out about her illness, they are urging other parents to have their kids checked because of the number of children undergoing treatment at the Port Moresby General Hospital.
According to the Mayo Clinic, leukemia is cancer of the body's blood-forming tissues, including the bone marrow and the lymphatic systems. Many types of leukemia exist. For the young and brave Tilesa, it is acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Tilesa's parents, Leanne and Vagi, are young parents of 2 daughters. Tilesa is their oldest. They all have been fighting the cancer battle with Tilesa since she was diagnosed in March this year.
It started from last year, around about October, where she kept getting sick constantly. Like every week she was getting sick, we were getting checked up, it was malaria. And then the next week we'll go back again, malaria again. So then we decided to go for a second opinion at PIH. They asked us to do a full blood count. We found out that she had anemia. So then we got referred from PIH to go down to POMGEN just to do a leukemia test, a cancer test. Once we went down to POMGEN, that's when we found out that she had leukemia. Then on that Friday was when our doctor came back and told us that she had leukemia. And she was around 75% positive with leukemia. It's not something that's easy for parents to process.
Both parents had heard about the sickness, however, only a broad view of the illness. Luckily for Tilesa, she was only a couple weeks in before they found out she was diagnosed with the cancer.
I guess because of the lack of awareness that goes around in our country. So we really didn't know much. So we decided, that was the day where we started researching.
Since her parents found out about her sickness, they are urging other parents to check for their kids due to the numbers received at Port Moresby General Hospital.
My advice is any little sickness that your child, if you see that there's an ongoing illness that your child is having week after week after week, don't just wait.
Tilesa's dad, Vagi, shared that their fundraising target is 300,000 kina to take Tilasa for flow cytometry test, where they will differentiate whether Tilasa is a T-cell or B-cell leukemia patient. Currently, PNG does not have the test. Tilasa is currently taking her daily dose and will head in for her monthly treatment to PNG this Wednesday. Her family are constantly supporting through fundraising, and her Facebook page is gaining recognition, which is receiving support from organizations in and around the country. The family currently raised about 15,000 kina and are aiming for a corporate dinner in the next 4 weeks and another fundraiser towards the end of this year. Jasmine Jack, TVWAN News.
Through their experience with their 3-year-old, Tilasa's parents Vagi and Leanne say there is a need for more oncologists in the country.
Currently at PNG, we do not have an oncologist. Although we have an adult cancer ward and children's cancer ward, we do not have an oncologist. So the doctors that are treating us, and I do not blame them, they are specialized in pediatrics. So my appeal would be that if there's anyone out there, especially for medical students, especially to the government, like if you can sponsor medical students to go study oncology, come back, that would be great. If you could build a research cancer institute, even build a cancer clinic hospital for itself with a research institute, that would be great. Like we wouldn't have to, like for parents, like struggle to raise funds just to go abroad when we have it here.
This is TV1 News. After the break, hunger at care centers and Prime Minister Marape to meet President Biden.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
Want to know to win a Scale Rice Matchy Pack? Scale Rice is giving away hundreds of really scale prizes for that Scale Weekend. Prizes include over 200 Scale Rice Nambi set, over 190 Scale Rice Eskies, 44 JBL speakers with 2 wireless mics. To enter, buy any Scale Rice or Ori Rice product, write your name and contact details at the back of the receipt, drop in the entry box. There's 116 winners fortnightly, 16 promo locations and 4 fortnightly draws. Try us all.
More details in store or follow us on our social pages. Terms and conditions apply.
Papua New Guinea. We love a reason for a family gathering. A reason to play. A reason to ignite the flame. A reason to cook the best with the best. Flame Oil, now PNG made for PNG cooking. Flame Oil, winning taste.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Prime PNG made.
Open bets.
There's nothing more intense than this thing. I've been in racing my entire life since I was 3 or 4 years old. Anytime you get in one of these things, your life is in danger.
There's no room for error. I mean, this is life or death. I'm determined.
We travel across the country with this beast, and people just go nuts. viewers. This is WWE superstar Shayna Baszler, the Queen of Spades. I'm here to set it all on fire. Watch WWE on Digicel TV.
It's our year. That's what the 8 final teams will be having in mind going into the finals.
You know, they've got the capability to do it in regards to talent.
It's going to be brutal. Oh! It's going down to the wire.
Superstar on superstar again.
It's going to be spectacular.
Up with a huge
Don't miss a moment in this year's finals. It's all happening right here on TVWAN Sports, your home of rugby league.
Welcome back. Manam Islanders living in care centers in Medan Province continue appealing to government and charity organizations for food and water. The struggle for these essentials continue as the prolonged dry season gets even more challenging. Women of Kuluguma village at Asuramba Care Center gathered on Monday to express their desperation.
Acute hunger has come upon the proud community of Manam Island settlers in care centers along the coast of Bogia District, Medang Province. This time, women are desperately calling for help. Betty Bade, wife of a late chief from Ward 13, Yabu LLG, expressed the dilemma the prolonged dry season is having on their survival.
Sani bagarapin ni pula. Or kay stay go inside lo garden. Or banana walk lo put down. Mi pula sod lo wara. O kata kay bagarap. Or something mi pula walk lo paini mani longen. O kata dry finish.
Dry spell which began in March continues to take its toll, drying up gardens to mere dust, causing severe hunger among the settlers.
We are of the mothers and children of Yabu, of Manam. We will speak out. But today, Misana Pantablong was 13 Blong Yabu LG. Me looking for some support Blong government in the stop inside long area Blong mi plan now. Me play the win Kissim Alvin Blong government come inside long mi. Long all big plus celebration. Long all bit pla walk inside long government community news of this man pla album. Same today me appeal. Mary go past long me, Mary blong kukurai long place blong me. Me pili mo sem. Sinda ni no good plan now na. Big plus ani make him now gata kay dry. Because long ground, no got ground. Click up ground me play walk long em this pla kasol amas 10 or 20 solid years me play stop long case center na ground ni go bakarap.
Schools have had to send students home every lunchtime to allow them to venture out in search of water sources and food. With existing tension with landowners, settlers take the risk when they step outside their safety zones in search of these basic needs. Cash crops, including betel nut and mustard, have also been destroyed, leaving people with even less opportunities to make money. Mrs. Kapata said this is a desperate appeal on behalf of the people, particularly mothers and children. Frida Kana, TV1 News.
One more judge has been added to the National and Supreme Court benches, bringing the total number of permanent judges to almost 40. This is expected to contribute to addressing the backlog of cases. Susan Purdon Sally was sworn in today at the Government House and takes office immediately with a contract term of 3 years.
Acting Chief Justice Les Gavarananu, in welcoming the appointment of Susan Purdon Sally, made it clear that this appointment was done through merits to maintain the court's substance and quality. Susan is an Australian Federal Circuit judge, and the Acting Chief Justice says her experience will contribute a lot to help reduce the backlog of cases.
That is to appoint more judges, qualified judges, and judges who are appointed on merit. And that's, it will go a long way in addressing our backlog of cases, because the more experience and the more competent that the judges are, the stronger the judiciary will be.
Justice Nanu says the inclusion of competent judges will make the judiciary strong and vibrant. Attorney General Pilar Niningi, in welcoming this new appointment, said this is part of the government's vision to increase the number of judges at the higher courts. The amended legislation sets the ceiling at 40, and the swearing-in of Justice Susan now meets this ceiling. However, the government plans to increase this ceiling to 60. Niringi says there are other judges working on acting roles, and with legislative reforms, these judges can be made permanent to reach this ceiling.
We feel in that now all 40 spaces of positions. So NEC has given us a green light to appoint the extra 20 to take us to 60. But we were. It's been delayed a little bit, and I hope in the coming parliament sitting we will amend the law to increase that number to over 200.
He says the government believes in a robust and effective judiciary, and to achieve that, qualified and experienced judges are needed. They have looked outside the Commonwealth countries who share similar jurisdiction with PNG to source judges and will recruit more from outside. The government plans to recruit 5 judges from Australia, 4 from New Zealand, 4 from Great Britain, and 2 from Canada. Ruth Rungula, TV1 News.
Prime Minister James Marape will be engaged in a couple of high-level meetings in the coming months, not just to strengthen bilateral relations, but also to establish network and connectivity to expand PNG's export market. A visit to the White House to meet U.S. President Joe Biden tops the list of planned meetings.
I've been invited to meet President Biden at the White House. I will take a press moment next week to announce this meeting. I also have a meeting with President Xi Jinping in October in Beijing. So I will also indicate to that at the appropriate time when we are moving on. Many ask me why those visits. Well, Papua New Guinea connectivity to the world needs to be maintained. We produce, we need to export to markets. And you have your Prime Minister as your number one pitchman. And when Prime Minister makes those connectivities, it is really up to all agencies of state to step up, but not only agencies of state to step up, but all in the economy to get out there, produce your agriculture, produce your produces, produce from within, as well as to export outside. So.
For the first time this year, Lay Fest 2023 was hosted on its own at the Lay Botanical Gardens. Despite the rainy season, residents turned up to take part in the cultural festivities commemorating PNG's 48th independence anniversary, hosted on Friday, September 15 and Saturday, September the 16th. Facilitated by the Lay Tourism Bureau, Executive Officer Maine Winnie said despite the downpour, Lay Fest was a great success. They chose the Lay Botanical Gardens to host this trial run because they believe that it will be their future tourism hub. About 100 police officers were stationed there in partnership with the Lay City Authority, while 10 music and sing-sing groups took part in the event. There were over 50 registered food and arts and crafts stalls. Winnie outlined that Lay Fest aligned itself with the Lay MP's vision of a better Lay. Hence, the event was community-oriented and ran smoothly with the assistance of volunteers. Sinivit LLG in Pomio District, East New Britain Province, joined hands with 2 other rural sister LLGs to host the country's 48th independence celebrations. The other 2 LLGs are Toma in the Gazelle District and Kombi in Rabaul District.
Sinivit LLG in Pomio District, East New Britain Province, collaborated with Toma LLG in the Gazelle District and Kombi in Rabaul to host the country's 48th independence celebrations. The programs were held in 4 locations to cater for the scattered communities within Sinivit and the neighboring wards in the 2 other LLGs. Celebrations began on Friday, the 15th of September, a declared public holiday by the national government, and concluded on Tuesday, the 19th of September, to observe the 29th anniversary of the volcanic eruptions that destroyed the former provincial capital in Rabaul town in 1994. Acting Sinivit LLG manager Penny Maroro Jr., said the 4 locations included 3 satellite host wards and the main venue at the Warangoi Properties Yard at Sawmill in Laup Ward. They had school-oriented activities and speeches at Sawmill on Friday, while other host wards also kicked off their programs on Friday and concluded on Saturday, which was Independence Day. Kombu LLG took the lead in the anniversary program for the volcanic eruptions. The satellite host wards were at Riet, which catered for the inland mining wards, and Mungo Station and Tol Masarau for the wards along the South Coast Corridor. They had similar programs where schools from early childhood learning to primary level were involved in activities such as a march past, flag racing, games and speeches on Friday, with follow-up programs on Saturday. A highlight of the program included the Pomio Tree Dance, which was performed by the Mamusi tribe of Pomio District. The Sinivit LG administration participated in its 2-day program, while a committee comprised of business houses and community elders was put in place to oversee the extended program that concluded today. Kamala Guare, TVWAN News.
And now the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at $0.2750 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying $0.2675 US, $0.4131 Australian dollars, $0.2427 euro, and 39.14 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, coffee and copper closed higher. The rest are trading lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed higher, ASX closed lower, and all ordinaries closed lower as well. You're watching TV1 News. We'll have news from abroad after the break. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
Hey, you want to talk? Want to win one of 4 Costa buses? Simply collect 6 SP Lager Red promo caps and enter the draw at a participating store near you. There are heaps of other great prizes to win too, like SP Hunters jerseys and other awesome SP Lager gifts. So enter the draw today for a chance to win. There's a bus to be won in Islands, Southern, Momase, and the New Guinea Islands. SP Lager, Bungi Mumi!
A quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier by you like you more.
Hiya, Mama. You wait time, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic kakaru, get up a big smile on face. Time for give chicken a great fumu too. Sip, sip, the moo, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
On the ground, the Fijian. Kebalo, oh, Butterfingers there out of the hands of Dante. You've got to be careful. He's up. Ramos in the corner.
When the Queen of Gems calls.
Opal can make you do crazy things. only those with enough grit
These are the risks we take to find opal.
claim its glory.
This is unreal! We did it!
Opal season is open.
Holy crap! It's bigger than cheesy!
Outback Opal Hunters starts Thursday, September 28 on Discovery.
The ICC Men's Cricket World Cup 2023 is almost here.
Oh, out! What a beauty! He's on absolute fire!
Tasmania is Australia's smallest state, lying about 240 kilometres south of the mainland. Join me on my journey through this beautiful island state as I experience the produce, people and culture that makes this an unforgettable island.
And across the vast oceans to down under, Papua New Guineans residing in Cairns, Australia, gathered at Fogati Park and celebrated their home country's 48th Independence Day in a spectacular showcase of culture, food and community unity.
People from all walks of life flocked to Fogati Park in Cairns, Australia, turning it into a colourful tapestry of cultures, away from the familiar surroundings of Papua New Guinea. The festivities commenced with a heartfelt prayer led by a clergy, followed by the resonant rendition of both the Papua New Guinea and Australian national anthems. The park was adorned with an array of mouth-watering delicacies, including the traditional pariwa, creamy coconut chicken, and an assortment of fish dishes. Colourful stalls showcased merry blouses, films, and captivating artwork. As the day unfolded, Cairns Mayor Bob Manning took the stage, delivering an address that celebrated the Papua New Guinean community's enriching presence in Cairns. Mayor Manning also recognized the historical significance of PNG's journey to self-government in 1975, a chapter that stands as a remarkable achievement in history. The celebrations continued with traditional dances performed by cultural groups including Manus, Tubusera, Morabe, Kairuku, Arama, Tolai, Keviang, and the Autonomous Region of Bougainville. A mesmerizing wiper dance and a narrated performance by the renowned Siala dance troupe held the audience in awe. Maureen Semei, president of the PNG and Wantoks Association in Cairns, spoke about the event's significance in fostering community bonds and supporting Papua New Guinea's SMEs.
For our country back home, they also play an important role in what we have here in Cairns. I mean, a lot of things that you go around and look at are actually produced from Papua New Guinea. They're not like locally made in Cairns. So I know that SME is quite big back in PNG, and if you see most of all of our stalls here, they are in one way or another supporting SME.
This day of celebration in Fogati Park beautifully illustrated the enduring bond between Papua New Guinea and the Cairns community, emphasizing unity, cultural appreciation, and the promise of a future filled with partnership and friendship. Carol Kido Jr., TV1 News.
Pacific Island countries will meet next week with U.S. President Joe Biden for a second summit, the Secretary General of the Pacific Islands Forum, Henry Puna, said on Monday. The announcement was made at an event in New York hosted by the Carnegie Endowment for the International Peace. The White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment on the timing of the summit, which U.S. officials have previously said would be held in September. Puna says it is something that they're very much looking forward to as a region, engaging with the U.S. at the highest levels. He said the Pacific Island region had gone from a period of strategic neglect just a decade ago to become a subject of strategic interest, competition, and manipulation today. Dozens of schools in the far south coast region closed earlier today when an initial extreme fire danger warning was issued. The Bureau of Meteorology has upgraded the warning due to increasing dry and hot north to northwesterly winds.
And it's windy. I'm here just on the outskirts of Bega. There's some farming properties behind me, and we decided to set up camp here just to demonstrate how dry things are really looking in the Bega Valley. So behind me you can see really dry grass. There is a lot of grass on the ground, but it's crispy, it's crunchy, it's hot, and it's a fire risk. Now, the Far South Coast District has been declared a total fire ban today as a result of today's really hot and really dry conditions. I mean, currently it feels like 34 degrees. There have been a number of public schools closed as a result, so about 20 public schools in the Far South Coast District, and we're also aware of some other private and independent schools that have closed as well.
There's a list of the schools that are closed on the screen now, and it's also pretty windy there. We can see that behind you. Adrian, what is the feeling in the community about today?
Well, just as we were setting up here, a couple of locals that live not far from here have pulled over and said g'day, and they were saying how worried they are about today. There is a lot of anxiety here. This is the same area that was impacted during the 2019-2020 Black Summer bushfires, and yes, we've had a fair bit of rain since, but we've had an incredibly warm winter and what looks like to be an incredibly hot spring. We haven't had decent rain in 3 months. We caught up with the local Beaker Valley Shire Mayor Russell Fitzpatrick earlier this morning to get his take on how the community is feeling as a result of some of the local schools closing as well. So here's what he had to say.
Community's had high anxiety for some time around bushfires, of course, after what's been through in 1920, and we continue to have that, so we have to appreciate that and work with it. And, you know, the safety of our children is our utmost importance, so fully recognise that those ratings, and you know, I've seen social media comments where it's a bit of an overreaction, but at all times we've got to consider the safety of our children around those areas and in those schools. And as I said, you know, there's a lot of biodiversity around those schools and some back onto national parks.
So the RFS is really urging local landholders and residents to be prepared for today given the extreme fire danger rating and the total fire ban in place. Last time that I checked the RFS app, there were a couple of fires at advice down in the Eden region, so around Nethercote and Nullika, but they are pretty much under control at patrol status. Nothing has cropped up else has cropped up as of yet, touch wood, but we've got a long afternoon ahead of us with some pretty windy and pretty hot conditions. Yeah. Roz?
More than 30,000 abandoned vehicles are sitting idle on the main island of Tonga. Accumulating over the past few decades, the cost of removing the scrap cars is too high and they are now running out of space.
Actually quite shocking to be in this beautiful island and then just not too far behind the main roads there were piles and piles of abandoned cars. It was kind of apocalyptic, just 4 or 5 high in the air and just giant piles of cars, and the locals were really concerned that it's a growing problem. 30,000 cars with a population of 100,000 people, that's you know, 1 every 3 people. It's a lot of cars, and they were just sitting there and just in disarray really. There were definitely trees and things all over them, but it costs a lot to import the cars, so people just use them till they die, then leave them on the side of the road. And then there's one man who was trying to pile them all up and get them all together, but it was really they need a whole approach, which is what they're trying to do.
So are these scrap cars starting to have any environmental impacts, Patricia?
Yeah, locals are really worried about the petrol and oil leaching through the ground, and there's been some studies done on this. So they've got together, there's the Environment Department and there's also the Local Waste Authority, and they have come up with the Tongan Recycling Association, and they've got grants together. They also got the landfill together. There wasn't even a dump in Tonga before 2005. So they've tackled problems really quickly and they're looking for a new solution now. So they're going to work with the Japanese government to try and compact the cars.
Okay, can you tell us a bit more about that and what's been done to remove the cars from the island?
Yeah, so they need to compact the cars. So they've got some grant funding to compact them into small little cubes, and they will be shipped back to Japan. And so they're working really hard with all different aspects of locals and on other islands as well nearby in the Pacific to try and make sure that car waste can be addressed and the cars can get off the island.
Back home, Minister for Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology Don Polye has cautioned students attending higher institutions in the country to not allow themselves to be used by politicians or people in authority to instigate strikes on campuses. Polye issued this warning after students at the University of Natural Resources and Environment burnt a car this morning in protest of some climate change programs they claimed were not accredited.
Minister for Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology Don Polye, in a press conference this afternoon, clarified that all courses in higher institutions are accredited. Polye says the National Training Council checks and gives full accreditation to all courses taught in all higher institutions in the country. The minister made these remarks after students at the University of Natural Resources and Environment burnt a car in protest of some climate change programs they claimed were not accredited.
I'm now cautioning and preparing all universities, nursing colleges, all TVETs throughout Papua New Guinea to beware now, to be proactive in the management. I am putting on alert all chancellors of councils, all vice chancellors of the management team, all council members, all senior management team, that I am sensing that reasons, unjustified reasons, are being used as a motivating factor. Could be other motives, private motives and private interest. I do not know. Could be politically motivated too.
A frustrated Minister Polye stressed that the recent students' stage strikes is not about academia but other ulterior motives fueled by people with vested interest. He warned student leaders as well to be careful who they address issues with. Polye said the simple issues like the shortage of salt experienced by students at the University of Papua New Guinea Medical Faculty is an issue that need not to be addressed with a protest. Minister Polye clarified that the climate change courses claimed to have not been accredited was untrue.
University of Papua New Guinea. I couldn't believe my eyes to see people are fighting for kind of the salt. Can you go to do a demonstration for fighting of a salt or greasy food in a mess? Oh my goodness. That is a very, usually you can address it your own territory. Your prefect, your mess captain or your school SRC can address it with the university vice chancellor or your dean of the school.
Meantime, Higher Education Secretary Fadayan Shuba will be traveling to UNRU Wednesday morning to address this issue. Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
3 suspects alleged to have been involved in an armed robbery in Malalawa Gulf Province were apprehended in a coastal village in Central Province. They are in police custody for further investigation.
On Thursday, September 14, 6 armed men held up Aro Chinese store in Lese Oalai, Malalawa District, Gulf Province. The suspects held up the store manager and took off with 96,000 in cash and drove off in a black Nissan X-Trail towards Central Province. However, the vehicle experienced a flat tire at Alika Swamp on the provincial borders. The criminals abandoned the vehicle and escaped on foot. On Sunday 17th, 3 of the suspects, all armed and believed to be heading to the city, ended up in Kido village, Central Province, aboard a faulty dinghy. Suspicious of the trio, villagers notified local police. The suspects were caught and taken in for questioning. Central Provincial Police Commander Laimo Asi said they have to lay firearm charges first before handing them over to Gulf Police to lay criminal charges for armed robbery. PPC Gulf Chief Inspector Jeffrey Lem said the suspects are believed to be recent escapees from the Bomana prison. Susan Oreape, TVWAN News.
And that ends the news segment. Sports is next with Jasmine. Stay tuned.
Hardware House is more than just a store. It is where quality meets affordability, where culture is proudly celebrated. Spanning 9 provinces, we pride ourselves in offering top-notch customer support and services. We're more than just a store. We're more than a brand. We are Hardware House.
William Hop Monimag belong 400,000 kina on-time roots rice. 600 per month mere by winning 500 kina each or get a fortnight. Na by got 4 big plow winner belong 25,000 kina each. Long enta, buy 10 kg roots medium grain rice, cut him logo lo front long bag, write him name na number long you long backside, na put him long entry box long all participating store. Roots big for cash giveaway. No can miss out. Terms and conditions is up.
Without a doubt, you care for your loved ones. You want to keep them safe, whoever they may be with, wherever they may be, in the home or facing the world outside. Don't let anything stop you, not even bacteria. Protex helps protect your skin with natural extracts. Boosted with flaxseed oil, Protex helps eliminate 99.9% of bacteria for healthy skin. And with the power of natural goodness, you're ready to play every day. Protex, for the good health of your skin.
Change your TV plan to a postpaid plan and save more than 100 kina. Get a 30-day 40-channel plan for only 85 kina and get a free DTV plan to watch rugby league,
blink and you miss it,
or Filipino dramas from anywhere you want. Good idea. How awesome is that?
what a moment.
Dial 1515 to speak to a TV agent and get yourself a postpaid TV plan today. Digicel TV. More channels, more choice, more value.
The rumble is on. And we are rolling on the World Cup. The biggest prize of them all. Right on through. Good tackle. Punishing set of drives on the line. Oh, it's a domination. It's good. You want box office? You've got it. The perfect response. And we can go and they're over. The World Cup is theirs.
Welcome back. The Port Moresby men's softball team, currently attending the Invitation Makassar Softball Championships in Indonesia, recorded their first victory on Monday with a hard-fought 4-0 win over the champions of Jakarta, the DKI Jakarta men's softball team. It was a great team effort as the boys dug deep to get the win. There was the outstanding performance from the pitcher and catcher combination of Danny Tovia and Bobby Baez. Danny took out the player of the match, recording 13 strikeouts. They played Baladewa in their second game today. PNG Hunters enforcer and recently voted Prop of the Year, Junior Rob, has earned himself a spot in this year's PM's 13 side to play the Australian PM's 13 this Saturday at the Santos National Football Stadium. Rob was part of the 2016 PM's 13 side that went down to Australia 58-0. Ironically, the biggest highlight of that match was Junior Rob's kamikaze-style hit on an Australian opponent that took the wind out of his sails for the remainder of the contest. It brought the whole stadium down.
Junior Rob's return to the Hunters this year has been impressive and consistent, although it's been a long 7 years since his memorable 2016 hit. Rob has lost nothing in terms of passion, energy and class to keep going in leading the young playing group this year.
Yeah, this year was a very nice, exciting one. I played my best. I was included in the leadership group, so yeah, I thought I had a role to play, so I had to give my best each game, play to my best, and then lead the boys, the young flocks, and at least set my legacy behind.
Rob attributed his breakthrough comeback season to his inspirational skipper Ilahalu, who's played a big part to improve his game this season.
Even if he's a small person, but he has a big heart, and then he always plays best. So I was thinking, oh, I'm a big guy. Why not play my best? Just be on him and then just lead him, push him, and then make him, So Ila was my best buddy along the field, and then he was my motivation behind playing strong and playing hard. Yeah.
After receiving his award at the PNG Hunters Awards night, Rob announced confidently he's ready for a call-up to the PNG PM's 13 side as well as the Kumuls for the end of the year Pacific Championships.
I'd love to. I want to, that Tri Nations is a very good opportunity for me to at least represent my country, do my best. Like me, I'm playing at the pick-up level, but then, why not I play the same energy in my bloody national team and all this. So I'm available.
Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
Getting a call-up to the PNG PM's 13 side this year only a week after he was voted Player of the Year at this year's PNG Hunters Awards night is still surreal for SP PNG Hunters elusive fullback Moria Jr. Only days after his selection to the national team, Moria could not believe he's been named Host Plus Cup Rookie of the Year.
Getting such multiple awards on your debut season at the QRA level speaks volumes about the incredible gift of rugby talent young Moria Jr. possesses and has in his game. His natural athletic, skillful and quick off the mark cannot be coached. Moria acknowledges God for the talent and his guidance through his journey so far. At the recent PNG Hunters Awards night at the Stanley Hotel, Moria scooped double awards, PNG Hunters Player of the Year and Players Player of the Year. Reflecting on his short journey, Moria added there's a lot of people who helped him along the way, and that's include his family, the Hunters coaching staff, the management, teammates, sponsors, and even the fans.
Firstly, my family, they've been very helpful, and I think most of my games I get motivation from them. But on field, I think Coach Dan and Coach Paul, they really helped me a lot in my game. Where areas where I could improve, they just tell me what to improve on, and then I just work on it. And then the senior players like Ila and Junior Rob, they are really helpful, and they just talk to us directly, and they really help us. And personally, it really helped me all through this year.
Moria made special mention of the undivided support and camaraderie with the playing group, especially senior players.
Oh, definitely. I've been dreaming this my whole life, wearing the Kumuls jersey. So yeah, I'm just hoping I could, fingers crossed, I could get a call up for the PM's 13 and the Tri Series. Yeah, I'm just hoping. Trying to keep myself fit, and anything might happen.
Moria is now relishing his moment after the 18-man PM's 13 squad was announced to meet the Australia's PM's 13 side. He is ready to embrace the opportunity and make his family and country proud when he runs out on Saturday. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
Wallabies coach Eddie Jones has taken full responsibility after a 22-15 defeat to Fiji in Saint Etienne. Jones' team were overpowered by a Fijian side needing to win to keep their World Cup hopes alive.
The Wallabies struggled to get on the front foot, and when they did, found themselves giving away costly penalties on attack. It leaves them coming under heavy fire after the stunning defeat, with next week's clash with Wales now a must-win. Looking to shape the Wallabies for the future, coach Eddie Jones has apologized for their first loss to Fiji in just under 70 years. However, Jones is confident they have enough time to turn it around. Meantime, Fiji's convincing victory over the two-time world champions Wallabies was the first big upset of the World Cup and further enhanced the case for the Pacific Islanders to have a place at rugby's top table. Already a seventh superpower as champions of the first two Olympic tournaments, the Fijians have played 7 tests this season and won 5 of them, defeating former world champions England, Japan and now Australia. The victory over Australia was their first in 69 years, but not only a huge surprise to those who have frequently watched the disciplined and well-structured flying Fijians play this season. Susan Oreape, TVWAN Sports.
New Zealand has effectively qualified for the semi-finals at the OFC Under-16 Women's Championship in Tahiti after a 4-1 win over Fiji in their second Group B match at the Stade Petah in Papeete. Both sides had recorded resounding victories over the Cook Islands and Vanuatu, respectively, in their opening group matches, and it was an eagerly anticipated encounter.
New Zealand was tested before overwhelming Fiji to effectively qualify for the OFC Under-16 semi-finals in Tahiti. The Group B match took place at the Stade Petah Stadium in Papeete. Both sides had recorded resounding victories over the Cook Islands and Vanuatu, respectively, in their opening group matches. And while New Zealand had the lion's share of possession in the opening quarter, Fiji were dangerous on the counter. The breakthrough for New Zealand came in the 27th minute when Pia Vlock played a lovely through ball for Laura Bennett to run on to and outsprint the defense and fire to the left of Rosaline Serafina in the Fiji goal. Bennett had a couple more chances before New Zealand added a second 5 minutes from half-time when from a free kick floated in by Vlock, Serafina fumbled, allowing Alice Jarras to tap in. New Zealand then put the game to bed. First, Natalie Young beat Serafina at the near post with a powerful right foot shot before 2 minutes later, Young was pushed in the box and Vlock slaughtered the resulting penalty. Fiji breathed some life into the contest 16 minutes from full time when Caroline Calivere smashed the loose ball into the back of the net following a free kick outside the New Zealand penalty box.
I think we definitely played well. Fiji put up a good challenge, but yeah, girls played well. They really fought. But yeah, no, at the start Fiji came out firing. But yeah, we just had to match that, and I think by the end we were there.
Well?
Yeah, definitely. Their backs were very strong compared to us, and very fast, their attackers, so it was quite a challenge, yeah.
Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
The Cook Islands have given themselves a shot at making the semi-finals at the OFC Under-16 Women's Championship in Tahiti. Tuho Brogan's side have beaten Vanuatu 2-1 in a closely fought Group B match at Stade Petah in Papeete. The result leaves the Cook Islands needing to beat Fiji in their final group match on Wednesday, Tahiti time, to advance to the semis at the expense of the Fijians. Vanuatu's Karen Carlot was recklessly brought down in the box 3 minutes later, and referee Gideon Mamuala had no hesitation in pointing to the spot. Phyllis Moses converted to raise Vanuatu's hopes of turning the match around. However, the Cook Islands defense held firm in the closing stages, and Vanuatu will be left to play for pride in their final Group B match against New Zealand before the playoff for the minor placings. Weather for the main centers for the next 24 hours.
Momase region, isolated showers and thunderstorms. Wewak and Vanimo, possible brief showers. Highlands region, isolated showers and thunderstorms. Mount Hagen, partly cloudy. Mendi and Wabeg, few showers. Southern region, isolated showers and windy conditions. Port Moresby, partly clouded at times. New Guinea Islands region, isolated showers and thunderstorms scattered over Manus and the autonomous region of Bougainville. Ocean forecast for the next 24 hours. Coral Sea and Solomon Sea sees moderate to rough with southeast winds of 15 to 20 knots. Bismarck Sea sees slight to moderate, becoming rather rough over the southern sector. Southeast winds of 10 to 20 knots, gusting to 25 knots over southern sector. Coastal waters forecast for the next 24 hours. Waters of Samarai Island to Cape Vogel to eastern and western Milne Bay Islands seas 1.5 to 2 meters, rising to 2.5 meters along eastern Milne Bay Islands. Waters of Finchafen through VTS Strait to CSE Islands seas 1.5 to 2.5 meters, rising to 3 meters over warning areas. And that ends the news this evening. Have a pleasant night. Bye for now.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.